What's up, good people? Sorry for the hiatus. I was just busy studying for tests and stuff for dental assisting class, which I passed, and I got an A. Yeah, I just didn't want to make a whole lot of YouTube videos because I didn't want to be distracted from studying. And also because, yeah, I kind of didn't really have a whole lot of ideas. And as you can see, I'm sort of in a new location in my room, and I'm standing. It feels so liberating, so I can jump in and move. So what else has been going on? Easter was good. My aunt and uncle came over from upstate New York, and they stayed here, and we just went around town. In job news, I did do a small little job interview kind of thing, but it's only one part. I have to do another one soon. So that's really all that's been happening with me. In other news, Doctor Who is filming in New York. But of course, alas, I can't go because it's so expensive to get plane tickets to go over there. It only takes like 2 hours because I only live a couple states away. It's faster to get to New York through plane, but I personally don't want to drive all the way up to New York and then take the train to New York City. So yeah, anyways, if you're watching this and you're going to New York City or you went there and you saw them, that is cool. The other thing I wanted to talk about that was Doctor Who related is this whole idea of what would happen if there was a female doctor. At the Doctor Who convention in Cardiff, I think it was Stephen Moffat that asked the audience how would they feel about a female doctor, and only 30% out of 100 raised their hand or something. If that were me, I would totally raise my hand. I would always watch the show no matter if there was a male or female doctor. I think I do have this sort of theory as to why exactly people might not like that idea of there being a female doctor. Now, there might be very select few people who just don't like the fact that women should portray male lead roles, or roles that are considered to be usually male as opposed to female. But I have no problem with that, and I don't think that other people should have a problem with that. I'm sure other people might also be worried about the fact that if they have children, that their children ask them, well, why is he now a woman and a man? It doesn't make any sense. My brain is so confused. I can understand why you'd be afraid, because you don't really want to speak to your children about that per se. I mean, I don't know. It depends on whether you're more conservative or more liberally outspoken about that sort of thing. I don't know. It's sort of the fear of telling your kids about transgenderness. I think it might be possibly, I'm not sure, but I think what people are trying to get at is that I think they might be a little worried about sexual preference as opposed to gender. I know the Doctor is omnisexual, but most of the time we see him as being attracted more towards women than men, because I haven't really seen him being attracted to men at all. I mean, sure, Captain Jack kissed him once, but it was Captain Jack kissed him, he didn't really kiss him back, if that makes sense. If the gender of the Doctor were to change, would the sexual preference of the Doctor be more favored towards men or women? And I think that's the thing that people might get a little bit confused about. Like, if the Doctor were a woman, would she favor more towards men or towards women? I wouldn't necessarily be mad if the sexual preference didn't change with the gender. It'd be a little interesting, but I personally would rather prefer it to be that the sexual preference also sort of changes with the gender. But that's just my thing. I mean, I know this isn't like Torchwood, where everything's really overly sexual, so I guess it wouldn't really matter to me per se if the sexual preference of the Doctor didn't change with the gender. It would be kind of nice to see how a female Doctor would view men, you know? Like, what if the female Doctor actually hooked up with Captain Jack? Would the female Doctor actually like Captain Jack because now she's a woman as opposed to a man? Another thing I'm curious about is that if the sexual preference does change with the gender, how would she view her previous relationships, like with Rose Tyler and stuff? Would she be very omnisexual about it and still love Rose Tyler, or would she just think of her as somebody that she used to know? Do 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 do. That's a song, by the way, okay? It's really confusing just to word correctly. I know I tend to be so apologetic in these videos, but I just want to get it right because I don't want people to be like, well, it shouldn't matter. But I'm like, it's a very interesting thought. I mean, I don't have a problem with just two girls kissing just a little bit, but I don't want Torchwood kind of things going on that show. It's a family-oriented show. If you want, you can put a comment down below on how you would feel about there being a female doctor and maybe any suggestion of why people would worry about that kind of sort of thing. Hopefully, I will have more videos up, and yeah, namaste.